It's time for the Mohney Show. High atop the third story of the historic Gibson House overlooking beautiful downtown Centralia. The star of the show, Steve Mohney.
Yes. Point S, Centralia OK Tire is a proud sponsor of high school sports and wishes all teams good luck during the postseason. With the playoffs starting, that means the weather is changing. And that means tough driving conditions with ice, rain, and snow. Point S, Centralia OK Tire invites you to stop by and have your vehicle checked so you're ready for winter driving. Studded snow tires, studless snow tires, and tire chains are in stock and ready to put on whatever you drive, and with a warranty good at over 200 locations. Point S, Centralia OK Tire, 1741 Harrison Avenue in Centralia. And welcome to the Mohney Show. I'm Steve Mohney. Paul Walker is with me. Now, why are you doing that?
I can see myself there.
We got a big monitor now.
Yeah.
There's a big.
How about that?
How big is that? Ooh, wow. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'd rather not look at myself while I'm doing the show, but that's that's how they do it in the big shows.
I'm gonna go one step further.
Yeah.
I'd rather never look at myself.
I'd rather
in any situation whatsoever.
And if people are saying, "Well, you're shaming yourself,"
Yeah.
you know what?
If
there was anybody I'd like to shame, it would be me.
Exactly. I'm on board. Yes, we're doing some self-shaming today.
You know, that was on the agenda, folks.
No, I got it.
Yeah, just tell me about it.
I'm mad about something.
Okay,
I gotta get
right
my
now.
finger
Tell
in
me.
there. I think you got us zoomed in too much here. Who's our producer this week?
I don't know. I like the Zoom.
I know, but if I go like this,
the producer this week is Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah.
That's what it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll have to do this for emphasis.
No, that's not. No,
left hand.
No, listen. Let's get something straight right now.
Yeah.
Sarah was for you, meaning it's not Jefferson Starship. It's Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, I was going Hall & Oates, Sarah Smiles.
No. Well, you can do that too. But it was for you because I know you love Fleetwood Mac.
Well, Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac I'm okay with, but it's Steve. Come on, it's Stevie.
Okay.
Do I get any preference in the matter?
Yes, you do. Yes, Sarah does. Because, because you're Sarah this week. How do you like Sarah? Sarah?
It's all right. It's all right. I think I would lean Fleetwood Mac myself, but,
So, are you a Jefferson Airplane, Sarah? Or Jefferson Starship, excuse me.
By the way, I reject all of those Sarahs.
Oh.
Okay. The Sarah
yeah.
that she's on, that you know who this is? This is Sarah.
Who?
From the Andy Griffith Show, when you called to ask, "Hey, Sarah, can you get me a hold of
Was
Aunt
that
B?"
Sarah?
That was Sarah.
Nice work.
Yeah. We also have me and Sarah Jane from Genesis.
Right.
We also have Sarah from Thin Lizzy.
Ooh.
We also have Sarah from Three Doors Down.
Right. Okay.
Choices here.
Wow, Thin Lizzy, huh?
I'm going with Andy Griffith.
He's going with, you know what? I'm going with the boys are back in town. For that time over at Johnny's place, man. Okay.
We could be real classy and do Sarah Maria from James Taylor.
Oh,
very. All right, that's where we got to stop things right here.
Exactly.
It's on the show this week, Paul.
Well, speaking of music.
Yeah.
You had a little musical interlude last Friday.
That was something. So we talked with Frank Murray, who does a Tom Petty tribute, Petty Fever, and the guys that do it with him. And folks, I got to tell you, I'm usually pretty critical about things. I've seen Tom Petty upwards of, 10 times? 11 times, something like that.
I don't know.
That started back in 1981 at Heck Edmondson Pavilion.
All right, Heck Ed.
Yeah, there was a big beam right in the middle of the. I was young, but that was primo Tom Petty back then because he was really young. But anyway, so Frank and the guys came to the McFiler's Chehalis Theater on Friday night and met him before the show. Got a couple of pictures. We'll put the pictures up and took the stage at 8 o'clock precisely, did a 90-minute set, and if you close your eyes, you would think you were at a Tom Petty concert. Now, hold on.
Hold the phone.
Because a lot of people say stuff like that, and it's not accurate. I'm being accurate. I've seen Tom, like I said, many times. He talks like Tom. The guys in the band are all phenomenal musicians.
Yeah.
Every intricacy, every nuance of the songs. Like "Here Comes My Girl," "Watch Your Walk."
Yeah.
He did it. I mean, and it was like listening to the records. Played all the hits, played a couple of deep cuts, but man, what a show! Again, a 90-minute show at McFiler's Chehalis Theater, and it was just a great time.
Great time.
Had a couple of beers and kind of walked around and sat down for a while. Many people, I would say upwards of 20, 25 couples out there dancing right in front of the stage.
Just dancing around.
No,
Okay, that's what it's all about.
Great shows. So Penny Fever, really worth seeing.
Okay.
Anywhere. And I hope maybe they can come back at some point.
Now, along the Tom Petty, and I'd forgotten that you had gone to that show Friday night, but Sunday there was just nothing on TV.
Okay.
Couldn't find anything on TV.
So
I went to we have Xfinity because of the Wi-Fi mostly, but I go on there. So I go onto the search, and I just search. I was just in the mood for something
different,
informative, but also interesting. So music,
right?
I love documentaries on music.
Yeah, well,
behind
they're good.
Stuff. And I ran across Tom Petty running.
Is it Running Down a Dream?
Running Down a Dream.
Running Down a Dream.
So we start watching it.
Long show, wasn't it?
Well, I didn't get through it.
Okay.
I watched it for 2.5 hours. It's 240 minutes.
Wow.
That's a long.
That's a long documentary.
That's 4 hours. It was like over 4 hours.
Oh, I'm in.
I got to 2.5. And it was 11:45 at night. I go, I can't finish this.
Yeah, in fact, this afternoon I'm going to go home,
but
locking the doors.
But fantastic. Everything he did.
No, that's a great documentary.
And you brought up Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks several times said, "I want to be part of your band."
Yeah.
And you know what his response was? Every single time,
"You're going to put me out of a job."
No, his response is, "But there's no girls in the Heartbreakers."
Yeah,
and that's what he just kept saying. He said, "But Stevie goes, I really want to be in your band." I said, She goes, "I would leave. I'll leave Fleetwood Mac to join
the Heartbreakers."
He says, "There's no girls in the Heartbreakers." That was his answer.
Yeah,
sorry. And "Dragging My Heart Around" was not the first song he wrote for her. He wrote one. I can't remember what it is, but he liked it too much, so he says, "I'm sorry, I can't give that to you."
Right. Well, Jimmy Ivan actually went to him, and he was working on her first, her debut album, and so we really need a song. We needed a hit single here, and so he goes, "Yeah, okay, here."
So he was working on that, and he almost took that back. But then Jimmy said, "I really like it when a female artist sings a song from the male perspective," and that's what this song was.
Yeah.
And Petty in the end says, "Well, he was right."
Yeah.
I mean, it was fabulous. So that's just a little snapshot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
there's
he
so much
is
stuff.
Because he's so low key.
Yeah.
You don't really understand. This is basically the same as when John Denver testified in front of Congress about censorship, and everyone thought that he was going, they took him to NASA and they gave him, they gave him, and he was really nice to all the politicians.
And then he just,
who's the lead singer? Who was that?
Twisted Sister.
Yeah. Dee Snider.
Yeah, Dee Snider.
Dee Snider was going, and he was one of the big leaders of that whole.
I think he was worried,
push. And he's going, "Oh, here comes John Denver. He's going to just kill us." And he goes, John Denver just annihilated him.
Yeah.
he goes, and he did so with a smile.
You better believe
all right,
he did.
Thank you. And he walks off, and
Dee
Snider's going, "What the hell just happened here?"
You're not going to censor us, excuse me. And with those big glasses on.
Yep.
Yeah, what a lost talent.
So same thing with Tom Petty, because he's so low key.
Yep.
He's the one that with publishing, he found out, in his first deal with his first agent, who I can't remember. He was a big guy.
It was Shelter Records.
It was an English
subsidiary
guy,
of MCA,
and they basically stole all of his songs, and he didn't really know it. He signed the agreement. And everything.
They screwed him.
But what he found out is, and that he owed them so much money because they put up the money for the production and everything.
Right.
Then you have to pay him back in your royalties.
It's a loan.
It's no one's paying for anything.
All the promotion.
But what he figured out, if you declare bankruptcy, it voids all those contracts.
Nice.
And so that's what he did. And they went to court, and they ended up, he won. He won that, and then, as you mentioned later, they upped the price of records, and at the time, it went from $7.98 to $9.98, a 20% increase. Yeah. And he goes, "No," and again went to war with the record companies, and for 2 years they dropped the price again. Said, "Nope, not going to be $9.98." And this is back in the early 80s, and that was a big price jump.
I remember trying to find $6.98 to buy an album.
Oh yeah, just folks.
Yeah,
most of you probably know this, but I started working at the bowling alley in 1980 or 81 at $2.13 an hour.
Yeah.
So I had to work 5 hours to buy an album.
And then I was
so
at the
it was significant.
Oh yeah, Fox Theater downtown Centralia, $3.35.
Yeah.
Got a raise.
I finally got there.
That was pretty.
I got to $2.85. I think I remember. That was one.
You know what I got to? Got to $3.75.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I was strutting around
Strutting around, just throwing out.
Look at me.
Dollar bills.
And you know what else? Free popcorn and beverage.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Projectionist.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you're bowling man.
Yeah.
We're in the entertainment industry.
I was a porter.
Oh, really?
That's what they called us.
What'd you do?
Janitor. Just cleaned up. By the way, on another side note, going back to the bowling alley, I worked at Westside Lanes in Olympia, 32 lanes.
That's a big bowling alley.
I went and I was talking to the young people there. I said, I used to work here, and I told them about that. And they go, "Well, could you tell us?" And they showed us the counters behind the settees. And there's the holes in the counter, and they're exact in every spot. They go, "What are these holes for?" Ashtrays.
Oh.
That's where the ashtrays went.
Oh my, how times have changed. I don't.
And they haven't They haven't changed the countertops yet. The holes are still there. So
it's like smoking on the airplane. You know, could you ever smoke in a theater?
I would assume so.
Could
if you can smoke in an airplane, why are they going to stop you from
I guess
smoking
so.
in a theater?
Because I never knew a theater that you could smoke in. I mean, I remember going down to San Diego and just choking. Guy in front of you just, you know, so.
Well, I still like,
Yeah, the old ashtray.
As we got some knowledge about maybe smoking isn't the healthiest thing to do. My favorite was to go into a Denny's and get one of the 2 non-smoking tables while everyone around you like, what is the point of this? Why?
What kind of country cousin? Smoking or non-smoking?
Does it matter?
Matter.
I can barely see you, and we're having breakfast in London.
Or if you were going into a bar, it was like going into an opium den.
I know, I missed that.
Well, I always thought if you were going to go in a bar, I mean,
you know what? I'll tell you what.
Choosing to go into the den of sin, aren't you?
I don't like walking into a restaurant. I hate this. That you can have kids on the other side of a rail.
Yeah.
I don't like windows. I think they should still be.
Tell us about it.
Somewhat secretive and something that I wonder, as a kid, you go, your parents are, I'm in the bar, don't leave me alone. And then you go, well, what are they doing in there? And because there's always a door and then a wall there, you couldn't see anything in the lounge.
It's a secret. Bar. Go ahead, Sarah.
We went to Florida when I was a kid. I was probably like 13, 14 years old. And that was one of the most shocking things about being in Florida is every bar is a family restaurant.
Yeah.
There is no differentiation. You can't be served, but there's no bar like you're talking about where you gotta stay on the other side. And, I'm the daughter of a police officer, so it felt a little like I felt dirty just to have dinner.
Yeah, the bar, it does need to be, you turn 21 and you get to go in there and go,
you get to,
there's Fred laying in the bar over there.
You get to graduate to be able to go in,
watch so-and-so with his face in the peanuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Good old days. Oh, miss those.
We've got this weekend is big for Walker.
Busy weekend. First of all, we're winding down all of high school sports.
Right.
By the way, shout out because this is we're in a Centralia soccer.
Yes.
Last night, Noel Vasquez, a friend. In fact, Noel is one that first got Eli Sports to be able to stream. He's the one that sat in front of YouTube. He was pre-Sarah and actually figured it out all on his own because I had no idea. I still don't know how.
No, I don't know
how any of this works. And guess what? And I'm not going to know how this works.
Yeah, well, I think we've proven that.
But he took over the Centralia College. He's the first men's Centralia College coach. So he did that. He also took over the Centralia boys team.
Okay.
Last night, they beat Aberdeen on the road in a shootout. So they win 3-2. They clinched third place. They're going to the playoffs for the first time since 2017.
Nice.
In his second year.
Wow.
Congratulations. So turn that around.
That is great.
WF West, by the way, is wrapping up their season tonight. They're already league champs. They're going to host a game on Saturday. Tumwater and Centralia tied for second, but Tumwater gets the second seed because they scored more goals. They got the tiebreaker. So they'll host, and then Centralia will be on the road on Saturday in the opening round of the district tournament. So best of luck to them.
Best of luck to all of them, yes.
And all the other sports are winding up. But again, for me, it's Super Bowl Sunday. It's coming up on Saturday.
Big. It's Saturday. And it may not be, like huge for me, but it's big in a different way because when you kick that horse racing off, that means spring, baby. It's here.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about, we got the feature coming up, but, just how excited do you get on Saturday?
Oh, well, here's the deal.
Is there like a routine that goes on?
I will be, so Matthew and Tony are going to be covering a basketball showcase for us on Saturday and Sunday. But I'm leaving Friday.
Eli Sports Network.
By the way, I'm leaving Friday.
Okay.
So I'll be gone.
Hey, he's going to be gone.
By late morning Friday. I'm going to head up to Emerald Downs. Mm-hmm. And it is Kentucky Oaks Day, which means they have 14 races going on at Churchill Downs on Friday. I'm going to settle in, get my work done. I'm going to talk to some of the jockeys and the other people at Emerald Downs and get ready for some opening day stuff. But I'll be focused on, racing. And then on Saturday, of course, it's the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby. It's the longest consecutive major sporting event in the country.
Very good.
Nothing is close to it. It has been run since 1875.
That's amazing. Wow.
They'll do it again on Saturday with a post time about 3:30, 3:45. Somewhere in there is when they expect the field of 20. The gates will fly open, and 1.25 miles, and about 2 minutes later, we'll have the 150th Kentucky Derby champion.
Now, for folks that don't know, you give a lot of updates, a lot of writing about
Yeah, if you like horse racing, I do a lot of coverage. It's mostly just Emerald Downs,
right?
But we cover every weekend. I do anyway,
and they can find that on the Eli Sports Network.
Eli Sports Network. And by the way, we also have this gentleman we call Professor DW.
Yes.
And the professor is back this week.
Good old professor.
And we like to. Do you for again? You have to be a little bit older. I don't know. I think you might know this. I know you weren't a big sports guy, but do you remember who Jimmy the Greek was?
Oh yeah,
Jimmy the Greek was the guy who would pick the winners on CBS.
Yep.
So Professor DW is kind of our own Jimmy the Greek. So. We got a contest going right now.
Yeah, he can be. People going against him can be.
Exactly.
Very. He can be. Well, sometimes he's wrong.
He's wrong a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to sugarcoat it.
Yes. But right now, jump on EliSportsNetwork.com. Go to the Professor DW. Click that on, and we have a Kentucky Derby.
Oh,
the Kentucky Derby. And you can sign up. All you have to do is fill it out. Your name, email, and a couple of things.
Do you win stuff?
Yes.
Can I get a pooper scooper?
Well, you could. You could do whatever. You could do whatever you want. So all you have to do is pick the 3 horses you think are going to finish first, second, and third.
Okay.
So when you go to it, there's all 20.
You know what? Hold on. Okay, I'm going to let you continue, but we've got a lot more on this.
I know. We're going to talk more about Emerald Downs itself.
All right.
So this is
you're almost spoiling this.
So when you go on to enter your first place, all 20 horses, just click the horse that you think is going to win.
Okay.
Then the next, second place, same thing, third place. It's a combination of if your horses come in, what they pay, and the rules are all there. Short way to get to it. Just pick pick one in each one. You got nothing to lose, and if you win, our champion wins $200 cash.
Whoa.
And a day at the track for 8.
For 8?
8. Second place, you win $100 cash and a day at the track for 4.
Can I sign up?
No, you work for
I know.
You could, just for fun.
Oh man, that's
and then if you're the show finisher, third place, you get $50 and 2 tickets.
Yeah, but I'd pick like Smarty Jones or something from 15 years ago.
And then if you do beat Professor DW,
then
you also get an Eli Sports hoodie.
Oh, wow.
On top of it, a bonus prize.
Nice.
So you got to beat the professor to win that deal.
Okay, so get there, EliSportsNetwork.com.
Yep, EliSportsNetwork.com, Professor DW.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there because we've got more to come. We're going to talk about the Spring Youth Fair at the Southwest Washington Fairgrounds coming up this weekend. We've got hours. We've got information. In fact, Lee Combs, longtime fair manager and, of course, involved with the Spring Youth Fair forever and ever. Will be here in a couple of minutes.
He knows how to cook a hot dog, too.
Oh, wow. Well, not only that, but he knows how to cook a burger.
Oh.
Yeah, and those onions he puts on the...
It's kind of the sausage.
So he'll talk about that a little bit, too. Good. And Fiona, she's with us as well. She was instrumental in stuff that goes on at the Spring Youth Fair as well. So that's coming up. Stay right there. Back after this. real estate market is changing, and John L. Scott can answer your questions with a free market analysis. If you're a homeowner, it's really important to get a current market analysis. It only takes a few minutes of your time and contains valuable information about your biggest investment. This might be the year to make a move and take advantage of this market. For your free market analysis, see Laura Lee today at John L. Scott, 900 West Main in Centralia. And we are back with the Mohney Show, and it's a big week because it's the Spring Youth Fair at the Southwest Washington Fairgrounds, and as you can see, I have guests with me in the studio. Fee, welcome. What's your official title?
I'm the vice chair of Spring Youth Fair.
Okay, and of course, Lee Combs. How are you?
We are doing well, Steve. Thank you.
Good. Nice to see you. And man, you've been doing fair stuff for like a long time, right?
I have. We started the youth fair in 1982.
Okay,
so this is our 41st fair. We missed 1 year because of COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you put this thing together, I guess this is a question for you guys, both of you. I mean, what goes into it? How do you decide what's going to happen each year at the fair, and especially this year? I mean, at the youth fair.
Yeah, well, we're heavily volunteer dependent, so volunteer run. So superintendents are all volunteers. So it really depends on who can help us step up. And a lot of people take days off and we all have full-time jobs. So we're all volunteering to make it a great fair. And we really focus on the kids and the exhibitors. Lee over here, Father Fair, probably has more comments on that.
Actually, if it involves kids and you want to be involved in getting out to the public, we're a venue for that.
Right.
A good example is the Boy Scouts saw this as an opportunity to reach a larger population, and they have moved their district jamboree to the fair and operate under the grandstands during our fair time. And we've had other groups the same as way. School districts have booths. What's the health organization?
Valley View will be there. Valued Kids will be there. We have several different organizations. The Lewis County Beekeepers Association will be there. Master Gardeners will be there. And then we have lots of departments where kids can enter their exhibits.
So many good spring things.
Spring things.
Fine. Although the weather's been a little non-springy, hasn't it?
Well, we're used to the wet at Spring Youth Fair. It does typically tend to be a wet event, and we keep as much indoors as possible. But, you know, some of the kids are going to be
some years
damp.
Some years it's there's been a couple of years when it's been nice and sunny.
Yes.
But
you never know. It's the Pacific Northwest.
Spring in the Northwest. Now, these, the animals, the kids work so hard on their animals all year long, don't they? They
do. And this is an exciting fair because it's an open exhibit fair. So you don't have to be a member of 4-H or FFA, but it does encourage them to continue on in those things.
Okay.
So the rules are a little bit different, and it's an open fair. So the kids work really hard. And this is a pre-fair for a lot of them. It's their first fair of the season. Weigh-ins for the big fair, for the livestock show tend to happen at Spring Youth Fair. We have a lot of crossover of the same superintendents and kids. So this is really their kickoff event for the summer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this. So they can exhibit their animals here, and then they'll go on to the big fair in August, right?
Many of them will, yes.
Okay, is that where? So that's the auction in August, right?
Yeah. So at the big fair, they have the Southwest Washington Junior Livestock Association auction, and that's where the kids can make some really good money on the animals they take care of all year round and prepare for that.
That's got to be tough.
Oh, yes. If you've been, you can see some of the kids auctioning off their animals just in tears, saying goodbye to their cows and their sheep and their goats.
I'm not sure if I could do that. I mean, you've got Fluffy, and then all of a sudden, your cow's gone.
It does happen.
Anyway,
that's a hard transition to make.
Yes, that's like I said, I'm not sure if I could do that. Mm-hmm. What are the most popular animals that come to the Spring Youth Fair? Is it kind of even, or
we have a large contingent of almost all of your large animals?
Okay,
smaller animals like the rabbits and the cavies and the poultry are much smaller, but use a figure of 200, and that'll probably work for all of the exhibits in the animal area. There's over 100 sheep. There's over 100 goats, over 100 beef cattle, probably around 50 to 75 dairy, and 50 to 75 horses. So
that's really a lot of animals. I mean, for the spring fair, isn't it?
Yep. And then we have pigs, and cats are making a comeback this year. We do have a cat department this year. We're still looking for a dog superintendent for the future if anybody's interested.
Nice.
And llamas. We could really use a llama superintendent.
Llamas.
And stay back from llamas, don't you?
Yeah. Maybe that's why we don't have one.
Yeah. So when do people start to arrive at the fair, all the exhibitors? I mean, is it happening right now? Or
tonight is the night for a lot of the still life. All the elementary art is getting dropped off, hobbies and crafts. It's not too late if there's parents. Well, tonight is
this
Wednesday.
Will air by, what do we have, Tuesdays here? So this will air by tonight.
So Tuesday night is the night when a lot of the still life gets dropped off, and then animals begin to come in on Friday. Friday is the first day of fair in the evening from 5 to 8, but it's free because we do still have some people bringing in their animals and moving some things around.
And so that brings me to this question. So Friday, tell us days and hours and important stuff.
Yeah. Friday night, we are open from 5 to 8.
Right.
And we're crowded. We're messy. There's everything occurring Friday. All of the animals that I mentioned will be coming in Friday. And we start at 5 o'clock so that we don't interrupt the school schedules. That's the reason we started that. However, there are animals on the grounds early in the morning on Friday. Our beef department they're called junior breed shows, and like the limousines and the Angus and the Polled Hereford. These are statewide shows for youth in those divisions. And these are all purebred animals. Youth, for their definition, can go all the way up to 20. So we have professional people in those departments. Some of the other departments, youth is defined by how old you are. We don't get too cranky on it. If you consider yourself a youth, we'll accept you.
Sounds good.
We don't have any 80-year-old youth, just 80-year-old superintendents.
That's just fine with us too, isn't it?
And then Saturday becomes our first paid day, and it's open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then Sunday is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay, so today or Friday is free, and then admission over the weekend. So
admission over the weekend, and then we'll have the bouncy houses in the floral hall. We still haven't been able to wrangle up a small carnival. Many of them did go out of business during COVID, and it's been really hard to get one to come back.
That's what I was going to ask. So, boy, that was, they just went away, didn't they?
They did. So many of them, it just wasn't worth it to operate anymore. And so
there is a small one though.
No, we have, there's some out there in the world, but we can't manage to get one to come to our fair just yet. We're working on it, but we have bouncy houses that the kids can enjoy in the floral hall, which is kind of nice considering the weather. Actually, the parents, there will be lots of benches in there so they can go in and sit. And Shanks puts that on, right, Lee?
Yes. Shanks.
Mm-hmm. One thing, we've got to talk about food vendors here. Oh, yum, yum.
Yes, food vendors.
There you go. If you tell us about food. I mean, if I want to get a corn dog, I can get one.
Yep. Frying Dutch Girl will be there. Tony's Why Not Italian Ice will be there. J and L ears and root beer. So if you need an elephant ear.
Yeah.
And then we'll have Lone Tree coffee this year.
Okay.
We have a couple of other food vendors.
Let's see. What else do I just love here?
You can have the sausage.
Ice cream. Yeah.
Ice cream.
Root beers.
Yep. Root beers.
All good stuff.
And Winlock FFA Alumni Association is there on the ground early for breakfast.
Oh, really?
Hamburgers and cheeseburgers and all that sort of thing all day long.
Well, I do have to say this to folks right now. I don't think that I've ever had a hamburger that tasted as good as your hamburgers. Oh, man. Are you still cooking here and there?
I still cook here and there.
Mostly at home?
Most of it is, what I do now is I give food away. And if you have an organization that's trying to have a fundraiser, Bonnie and I we donate a barbecue dinner, and we go out and like this Christian school auction,
right?
Moose auctions and all of these things, we give these away. But that's the only cooking I'm doing anymore.
Well, yeah, it's been tasty for many years, so we do thank you for that. Thanks for everybody. Thanks to all the volunteers. How do people get involved if they want to get involved? Maybe too late this year, but maybe next year if they want to be involved with the Spring Youth Fair.
Yeah, great question. If you're coming to the fair this weekend, pop by the office and we'd love to chat with you. If not, email info@springyouthfair.org.
Okay.
We also have some phone numbers listed on our website. Reach out to us. We'd love to have you, and it's never too late. Maybe we'll need you this weekend. Who knows?
So let me ask you, how did you get involved, and how long have you been involved?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Just since last year, and I want to blame Lee. I think it was Lee's fault.
Was it? If you don't like it, then get involved.
No, I love it. I love the kids. I love Spring Youth Fair because it is an open exhibitor fair. It just makes it so much fun. And it's great for the kids, and it's all volunteer run. And there's just nothing quite like watching a whole group of volunteers come together. It's a lot of work. There are a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, but it's rewarding.
It is rewarding. And I love the fair.
And we need this. Lewis County is such a special place to live. There are so many things that go on in this county all the time. For all the different holidays we have. And then, of course, this summer, you've got egg days and, cheese days and all that stuff. I don't know of really other, I guess they do, but I don't pay attention, but other counties that have so much going on. So it's really a lot of fun to watch everybody get together.
We have a lot going on, and we're always open to suggestions for groups who maybe want to get involved or partner on something or put something together that happens during Spring Youth Fair. We'd love to have other organizations join us.
Very good. Well, I thank you for coming up the elevator and joining us on the Mohney Show today. And I hope to attend this weekend.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out, Steve, if I could.
Sure.
All of the labor contracts are done with youth organizations.
Okay.
Our gatekeepers, our parking people, the people who do the cleaning the restrooms, pick up the garbage, are all contracts that we give out to youth groups. So if you have a youth group that needs to make money, if you have a youth group that has a project in mind, get a hold of us.
Okay.
We'll make room for you someplace.
Very good. Well, thank you again. And thanks for all your volunteer and volunteerism and service. And we'll have you back next year.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. We are back with the Mohney Show. Much more to come right here.
You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see that you can truly be. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
At Tyler Rental, quality equipment and helpful counter pros save you costly delays. For projects big and small, Tyler has Genie man lifts and forklifts, Deere excavators, welders, and generators, plus new tools from Steel, Milwaukee, and Hilti. While you're in the store, shop for hard hats, safety glasses, gloves, hearing protection, and much more. Contractors and homeowners depend on Tyler Rental for selection and well-maintained equipment to avoid downtime. Tyler Rental, 153 Hamilton Road, south of Chehalis. We are back with the Mohney Show. It was great to have Lee Combs in the studio with us. And what are you doing?
Again,
stop with that thing. We got the new monitor here. It's a gigantic monitor. Paul thinks he.
Yes, it's totally distracting me.
You're taking away from the integrity of the broadcast.
I'm sorry. Did you just say the integrity of the broadcast?
Wow, I don't even know how that popped into my head. Yeah.
Normally I give you demerits. I got to give you a merit.
I know.
The fact that he,
Can you put that X right there, please?
Hold on. No, we're going to.
Just write. Can you write that down?
Demerit is an X. So
right.
You're going to get a check
I know.
and a circle.
No, I always get demerits or checks.
Oh, Well, you have a wrong system, but I
Okay.
got a circle around it. So
All right.
check, circle. That's a merit.
Okay.
All
Also, thank you to Fiona for being here as well. Have a great time at the Spring Youth Fair at the Southwest Washington Fairgrounds. It starts on Friday. Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 5 to 8 on Friday, right?
Let's double check.
Oh, she's gonna double check here. I had it up here on my screen. Oh, I've got it right here.
Yeah.
Hold on, stand by. Stand by. I've got the hours right.
Integrity of the broadcast.
Yeah.
This is affecting the. Yeah, it's May 3rd, so coming up on Friday, 5 till 8 p.m., and that is free to get in. Saturday, May 4th, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
All right.
And you have, the admission charge that day. Sunday, May 5th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Those are the hours and days of the Spring Youth Fair at the Southwest Washington Fairgrounds.
Yep.
So there you go.
A little taste of summer.
Exactly. And hopefully I'm looking at the forecast. It still looks kind of wet, but who cares? Big day. We talked about that a couple of moments ago. Now, Emerald Downs, huge.
Kentucky Derby Day is Saturday. It's the first Saturday in May. And last year, Emerald Downs decided, why don't we just have our opening day on Kentucky Derby Day as well? And it went over great.
I bet it did.
And it's only race day this week, and then next week they'll race on Saturday and Sunday, and they'll race on Saturday and Sunday only until Memorial Day, and then from Memorial Day weekend on, it'll be 3 days a week. It'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So how can pretty much your mind is gone after horse racing opens, right?
Once we get going there, it is a passion. It is. If you see my corner of my office,
I respect that. I love the fact that you have that passion.
That is. It's something my grandmother instilled in me, and
grandmother.
Yeah, well, she was a very good gambler too. Now, Grandpa, she told me, Grandma Helen said.
I think that's I just think that. Anytime you're spending time with your grandchildren, I mean, somebody might say, well, what do you mean? But that's fantastic. Hey, you've got great memories.
So she specifically said, now, Paul, I'll help you and show you how to, how I choose my picks here. Her methods. And she goes, it actually is based on me looking at information and deciding which horse I like. Said, don't ever listen to Grandpa. I go,
Grandpa's not
but
right.
after every race, he says he has a winner, and she goes, and he does because he probably has bet every horse because he will listen to everyone.
Yeah.
And, good point, and go and put a bet on it. And so, yes, even though Grandpa cashes a ticket in all 10 races, he generally doesn't come home with more money than he came with.
I love it because, some grandmas, you're wagering? Come on here, I'll teach you the system, young Paul.
That's right. Exactly.
Now, Joe Withee has so much to do with Emerald Downs. He's been one of your friends for eons.
Yes.
In fact, I used to play Joe on the radio. You'd have
all us old radio dudes ran into Joe back in the day.
And I we'd record it and then play it back, and he was always such a kick to talk to. But you'd answer the phone, ask Joe Withee, Yeah, good guy. Tell us about him.
Joe has been. I can't remember when he started at Long Acres, but it was either in the mid to late 70s or early 80s. He started. He's been there ever since. He went all the way until, of course, Long Acres closed in 92, and then they had the 4 years that they had to run over in Yakima Meadows while Emerald Downs was being built. And then in 1996, when Emerald Downs opened, that's when I worked at Emerald after being in radio all those years. It worked out really well. The radio station I was at shut its doors forever in August of 1995. And Emerald Downs opened in June 20th of 1996.
Wow.
So the brief period of time that I was without employment was there and got connected there. I was there for 5 years and then came back to radio.
That's like me working for Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Or Paul McCartney.
You know what? I really did enjoy working there, but I also actually enjoy covering and being more of a fan than
that's one of those things where you get too close to something you love and it turns into work, doesn't it?
It doesn't, but it was fun, and I wouldn't have traded it. And frankly, if they would have paid a little more, I probably would have stayed. But
right.
Nonetheless, it was what it was. But Joe has been there. He's a stalwart. He's part of the Washington Horse Racing Hall of Fame.
Wow.
He was inducted a couple of years ago just for his years of service.
Right.
And outside of, he has called some of the races. He's kind of one of the emergency backups. But he is known as the voice of Emerald Downs, of horse racing in the Northwest. He does a ton of radio interviews. He is the guy that talks about the horses in between the races. Everyone that's ever gone knows who he is. And also works for Eli Sports. We put him to work during the football and basketball season.
He does play-by-play, doesn't he?
Color.
Yeah, color.
He's a color and stats guy, and does a great job and jumps on with us. And then it's perfect because he's not really a spring sport guy. And once that starts, he's busy anyway.
You put everybody to work, don't you?
Anyone that wants to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, want a job?
There's Sarah.
Sarah.
You can
I keep her busy.
Stop with that.
Yeah. I can with the left hand. That's in the... See, but
it is kind of. You know what? Next week, let's turn that monitor off. So it's.
I'm sorry, but that was a special request from Paul to incorporate that into your production for the integrity of this podcast.
I'm glad we're not outside because if an airline flew over, he'd be going, "Look, I like marshmallows."
Oh, I do like marshmallows.
It looks like marshmallows coming from their tailpipe. All right, what's I don't know. That guy's driving that airplane around. Exactly. I don't think airplanes drive. They do for me.
They're driving around. He's got a tailpipe up there.
Right there. He's got to bust the tailpipe, land over there at Shahila's airport, and fix your airplane.
And Mohney's standing under there going, well, honk your horn. Not happening. So,
let's not even go. I was going to say we can go into so many more things. Yeah, speaking of Joe Withee,
I had a chance a couple of weeks ago to sit down with him up at Emerald Downs.
Good.
And actually, it was on Tim McGraw concert night.
All right.
Tony and I stopped up and we stopped in. We talked with Vince Brune, who's the media relations guy, and Joe is a publicity guy, and talked with both of them. But Joe gave us kind of a preview specifically for you, Steve.
Oh, good.
Yes, we.
So you mentioned my name.
Oh, absolutely. This is for the Mohney show.
Oh, right on.
He couldn't wait to be on.
Oh, good. Well, thank you, Joe.
Yeah. So,
I really appreciate that.
He's ready.
Because you're like, you're a star, unlike us.
Exactly. So why don't we? I think Sarah's got it. Let's roll. What we did a couple of weeks ago. Here's Joe Withee. All right, we're here on the Mohney Show, and here's our friend Joe Withee. And Joe, for years and years, everyone in radio, especially those of us who worked overnights or the late shift, evening shifts, were well acquainted with Joe Withee, who would call in every race night with results going back to the Long Acres days, into the early Emerald Downs days, and that's how a lot of us go, God, Joe Withee, it sounds familiar, and then you go, oh yeah, he's the horse race guy. You've been here in this industry for a few years.
Yeah.
Coming into this season with Emerald Downs, it's coming fast. Emerald Downs and Washington State remain one of the areas that still draw big crowds to the track. And in some areas, they're struggling with on-track attendance. That really is just never a problem here at Emerald Downs.
You're exactly right. Even Fridays when we get around 2,000 people, most of them are outside down on the apron, and it just seems like a nice atmosphere. And then Saturdays, nights, and Sundays, we have so many big Sundays, stakes days. Our stake schedule's better than a lot of tracks around the country, despite having, fairly shorter meet. We are going 5.5 months or so. We have 3 more days of racing this year, 55 as opposed to 52 last year. Stake schedule pretty much the same, culminating with the mile in earlier August, and then, stakes opportunities after that. But the crowds, you mentioned it. People in the Pacific Northwest,
you want to get outside when the weather's good. I mean, doing anything, you feel like you got something done. You took advantage of the weather, because there's so many days and weeks and months we are inside a lot, and other times of the year. So you want to do something outside. Emerald Downs is an outside venue, the park, and it's a family place, and so that we have that going for us.
And horse racing has also evolved with the current culture. It is there's not too many days that are 4 and 5 hours anymore. You have 8, 9, 10 races at the most, but also a lot of other fun that comes in here. And knowing that, yes, the corgis will be back, the other dog races will be back, the days out, the promotions that happen out here, and frankly, the cost to come here compared to other professional venues, it's not even close.
No, we raised our admission to $10 a few years ago, and
but if you're under 17 or under, it's free, right?
Free. But, for families that come out a few times a year, it's still cheaper than a movie. It's cheaper than a ball game. It's cheaper than the zoo. So, we're family friendly. And our concession prices are very reasonable as well. And again, you can actually go up and touch a pony horse. You can't touch the thoroughbreds that are racing, but you can get pretty darn close to them in the paddock. And there's that animal zoo-like atmosphere, kind of, and the race is exciting. If you got $2 on a horse, you're certainly rooting for your money to come in, and that's how a lot of people get started. Maybe betting to show, which is top 3 finish, you get your money back. So it goes from there. But yeah, race every half hour, and then we do so many things between races, especially on the weekends.
Right.
Our dog days are pretty popular and well known now. Corgis and wiener dogs, bulldogs, wiener wannabes.
Yeah.
We have kids races on the track a couple times a year. We did the grandparents race last year.
Yes.
That got a lot of mileage on social media.
We had a couple of down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Everybody that watches that video, everybody I've ever seen watch it chuckles.
Yes.
When the first guy goes down. And the dirt's really soft out there, by the way. On top. There's a base underneath, but so you're not getting hurt if you fall out there. It's like the beach kind of almost.
No question about it.
So yeah, our promotions are really working. Our president Phil Ziegler's got a marketing background, and he's added and he's tweaked, and just a lot of fun out here during a season.
And again, you come out here, like you say, even if you're. And by the way, there are so many ways to get in. There's deals out there. There's other ways. But if you're coming out with 3 kids, you and your spouse, $20 to get in. Programs are free.
Yep.
If you want to form, then you got to pay for that. But programs with some past performance is free. Mm-hmm. You can feed 5 for less than $40 between hot dogs and Cokes and things like that. And
excuse me.
Oh, no worries. And this is unlike the Mariners or the Seahawks or the Kraken or the Sounders. You could hit something and go away with more money than you came in with, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, that's. Many people embrace that, and we do offer gambling and wagering on the horses, and there's all kinds of different bets. Again, win, play, show are the basics, but it's not uncommon to go home with more than you came in with, and again, if you have $2 on a horse and they're at the top of the stretch, you're rooting for your money.
Yep.
Everybody roots for their own money.
And special thanks there for Joe, Steve. Great job. And again, details there.
Thank you.
If you're interested in going to Emerald Downs, emeralddowns.com. They've got all the information. They've got all those, again, promotional days, the corgi races, the bulldog races, everything. It's so fun. Check it out on the website. And it is one of the more inexpensive professional sporting events.
Well, that's what I was going to say is if you have a group of people and you want to take your group up there, they have a ton of different things that you can do, right?
Yep, absolutely. Okay. It's all on the website. Check them out.
Very good.
It's just a fun thing to do. So,
and thanks to Joe Withee, too. I do appreciate that. Paul, let's take a break and final thoughts right after this.
Boom.
Boom. What are final thoughts? Spring Youth Fair. Thoughts after this. Final thoughts after this. Well, we're into May now. May, hooray, hooray! Today is the 1st of May. Outdoor fucking starts today. Can I say that?
Oh no! Just here. I'll get you started. Just bring us back.
I'll just. I'm coming back, right?
Yep.
We are back with the Mohney Show, and man, Paul, it's May.
It is. It's May, and we've already talked about the spring fair coming up, and Emerald Downs, and Kentucky Derby, all that. There's some other big events happening this weekend.
I know there is.
Do you know what else is on Saturday?
But I know there is, but I don't know what there is.
Do you know what else is on Saturday?
No, I don't.
And this is, and the only reason I know this is because I live with a nerd. May the 4th be with you. It's Star Wars Day.
That's right.
Right? That's on
Forgot
Saturday.
all about it.
That's on. So the Star Wars geeks are going to be out geeking around.
Right? Tony is a geek, isn't he?
So the Star Wars geeks will be out there.
There's a lot of different types of geeks.
And again, I'm always it's their thing, man.
No, that's
them, But may the 4th
I think
be
anything
with you.
that people are really passionate about and interested in, I think it's fantastic. I mean, you could be a guitar geek.
Yes, exactly.
And then all of a sudden you turn into Gene Simmons or, Ace Frehley or something like that.
Yep.
You can be, I'm a train geek.
Or you could be into crocheting and turn into Gene Rayburn.
You could.
You don't know
I know who Gene Rayburn, talk show, game show.
Game show host of Match Game.
What did
He
Gene?
was a big crocheter.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was.
I love that guy.
He loved it.
He
said, he lived in New England and would fly out to do the show, and he said he'd crochet on the flight. He was famous for that, actually.
Well,
you mentioned Gene Simmons.
Okay, so one of the things that that now you brought that up, and let me be clear on this, folks. This show is supposed to be random thoughts, geeky things.
Fun things,
local guests, if we can get them, national guests, superstars, whatever. We don't care.
Yeah.
And we want you to be able to listen to this if you're not able to watch it. My number one fan out there is my mom. Man, she's so cool. I love you so much. Lori Mohney and my
By
dad,
the way,
Luther Daniel.
She won one of the Professor DW weeks of our football challenge.
Oh, she's good at that.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, she's been talking me through this. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with the Rolling Stones here. I will be at the show on the 15th. But that's anyway. So shout out to my parents. One thing we talked about as far as geeky things, Rod Stewart is a train nut.
Yeah.
And you were talking about Gene crocheting on the airplane. Rod Stewart has built this massive model railroad. They call it a pike. That's what they call it. Instead of a model railroad layout or whatever, you can call it that.
The train geeks would know what that means.
It's a pike, man. And somebody was interviewing him. I think it was from like CBS this morning, and they said, "How much of this did you actually build?" And he said, "Most of it." And so it reminds me of Rod Stewart being in hotel rooms. He's going to go do a show in Chicago or something, and he's back in the back. Hey, it's almost showtime, and he's back there. Yeah, hold on a second. He's got his Dremel out trying to.
Yeah, hey, he's putting in another tree.
Yeah,
I got to get this tree just right.
He's making trees, so he brings all that stuff with him, and then I would imagine it's kind of nice to have that outlet.
Yeah, I think so.
So
absolutely,
we're working on maybe. Wouldn't that be something if we could talk to Rod about his?
Yeah, that would be good.
About his trains. Anyway, final thoughts?
One other, that's not, and then on Sunday.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, that's not a very good day to have Cinco de Mayo. How many people call in sick on Monday?
Be a lot of holy water being drunk on Sunday there at Cinco de Mayo, I'll tell you that. So
we're into May, and I'm so glad. I would like it if the wind would calm down a little bit.
Well, you can constantly complain about the spring weather in Washington.
I'm not complaining.
It is pretty clear what it's going to do.
I know it's going to sunshine.
Then it's going to rain.
It's going to rain.
Then it's going to hail.
It's going to hail. It's
then
going to
the wind's
snow.
going to blow. And then it's going to be 70.
Oh, they had snow in eastern Washington yesterday.
Oh, did they?
3 inches.
Oh, well.
Yeah, in some of the upper elevations.
Yeah. Well, if you live up there, then that's what you get.
It's going to get blustery.
So, anyway. Again, if you can't find something to do this weekend, we don't know what to do for it.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Again, we're going to finish with the Spring Youth Fair. Friday, it's free, 5 till 8 p.m. because they're still bringing, the animals and stuff in.
Yeah.
Go over there and get a big, I'm going to go over there and get a sheep. Or something, some Holstein or
what are you going to do with the sheep?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just okay. I'm gonna go over there and get a corn dog.
I don't know. You might knit a sweater.
That's it. Yeah, maybe you'll crochet a wool scarf.
That's not a bad idea. I don't have any idea.
That's a terrible idea.
It is. You know what? We were cooking right along here until I did that. That was pretty much the bottom dropping out on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Saturday, May 4th, hush. 10 to 8 p.m. And then Friday is free. The rest of the weekend you have to pay to get in. And Sunday, May 5th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So Spring Youth Fair, Southwest Washington Fair this weekend.
If you happen to be going to Emerald Downs on Saturday for the Kentucky Derby, don't forget it's also big old hat contest. They'll have that as well.
I can see Sarah having a hat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you mind if I mention a couple other local
events? No, please be my guest.
All right. So this Friday is the first Centralia Farmers Market of the year.
Okay.
Oh, great. Okay.
And note, it is at Centralia College this year. They moved locations.
Okay, so it's not right in the downtown.
Right. It's over at the college,
which
might be nice for parking and some, so
right.
It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Also this Sunday is the spring cleanup in downtown Centralia at Pine Street Plaza. So if you're into that kind of thing,
okay,
don't miss that starting at 9 a.m. And I believe Saturday, it is only Saturday this year, the Mother's Day Market at the Jester Auto Museum. So if you're looking for a gift for mom, it's ahead of Mother's Day.
So that's on Saturday?
The Mother's Day Market is Saturday. Yeah, I thought it was Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
It's just
Saturday. What are the hours?
It is from 10 a.m. to 4.
Okay, I'm going there.
Okay.
And that's out right off Hamilton Road in Chehalis.
It says there will be over 40 local vendors, and for those over 21, there will be a mimosa bar.
Ooh.
Okay.
Classy.
Yeah, well, that's... I'm there. Oh, and by the way, good luck to all the moms and the dads and the grandparents that are out there watching soccer and Pee-wee baseball and baseball. And Saturday, I think I'm at the...
It's all getting cranked up.
Yep, I'm over at Sand Head Wall at about 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and hopefully it won't be too blustery.
Okay.
Over there with the 4-year-olds. So, hey, that wraps up the Mohney Show. Paul, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Sarah, always a pleasure. Thanks for keeping us on track and posting all of our stuff and being our great producer. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I do what I can.
Yeah, well, I know you do. Yeah, well, I'm just trying to get ahead, too. Oh, shout out to Matthew, too. He's down in Southern California, and that's my kid I miss, and Aaron as well. So that wraps it up for the Mohney Show. See you next time. Point S Centralia OK Tire is a proud sponsor of high school sports and wishes all teams good luck during the postseason. With the playoffs starting, that means the weather is changing. And that means tough driving conditions with ice, rain, and snow. Point S Centralia OK Tire invites you to stop by and have your vehicle checked so you're ready for winter driving. Studded snow tires, studless snow tires, and tire chains are in stock and ready to put on whatever you drive, and with a warranty good at over 200 locations. Point S Centralia OK Tire, 1741 Harrison Avenue in Centralia.